Like, why are we doing a podcast?
We're very busy people. We have 2 companies, 4 young adults, kids. Our amazing marketing manager for both companies kept saying to us, really think you guys should do a podcast, really think you guys should do a podcast.
You guys would be amazing on camera.
So why are we doing it then? Why have we decided to do this podcast?
We've realized that, hey, wait a minute, there's a lot of people here that we really want to talk to and actually hear their stories and share what they have to say, because they've got some really amazing parenting journeys. When we built Thumsters, you were like, this works, but why? You talk to anybody in that field around behavior and psychology, they say this is the gold standard in dealing with behavior.
The last episode was about our origin story.
Yeah, we talked all about where we came from, who we are. I had a haircut since then. So yeah, there was a lot in that episode about where we came from, why we built Thumsters, etc. But like, why are we doing a podcast?
I want to say that podcast is not about the app. That's not our heart or our motive behind it.
This is app adjacent.
So why are we doing it then? Why have we decided to do this podcast? Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying this out of arrogance or to break, but we're very busy people. We do have 4 young adults, kids. We have 2 companies. We have a company here in Australia that is now moving, actually both companies in Australia now moving into America. And then we felt it laid on our heart by God, and Kirsty, our amazing marketing manager for both companies, kept saying to us, really think you guys should do a podcast, really think you guys should do a podcast.
You guys would be amazing on camera. But it's like, I think what we should say though is, because of that draw to the US, what it's actually done is it introduced us to some really amazing people, and through the app and being introduced to people from across the US and from around the world, just through conversations we've had, like like the Netherlands, where we're working with the university there, and the other things that have been going on in the US, we've realized that, hey, wait a minute, there's a lot of people here that we really want to talk to and actually hear their stories and share what they have to say, because they've got some really amazing parenting journeys.
I think what's really important to say also is that the whole idea around empowering families for us, and that came about because, so when we built the app, it was in the market, it was for families to use.
Mm-hmm.
And we started getting support requests, which you get when you build something like an app, for new features and things. But we also started getting emails from teachers in schools, management or leadership and skills, and also clinics. So your child psychologists, your behavioral therapists, they specifically were emailing us saying this app is amazing. We're using it with a lot of our families that they were treating in their clinics or, as child psychologists. And either saying, and I don't say this lightly or to brag, but thank you so much for such an amazing product. It's really making a difference. They're my favorite emails to get by far. Or, for example, how do we download the reports so that we can use them in our clinics, or how can we customize? So if we're working on a certain behavior with the families, and that's what kind of kickstarted us into developing the clinic version.
Well, I think that's where, for us, it was that moment where we had that realization that it was much more than, just families. I mean, that was amazing. And that's on our heart. The heart of the mission is to help families. And the heart of the mission is to improve the dynamics of the home.
Exactly.
And, then we started getting these reach outs, like, well, as you sort of saying, from all around the place. And we got that opportunity to build that prototype for the summer camp in the US. And that kind of just really showed us this idea that, hey, this works for so many different things. And it's so aligned with our vision and what we really feel like, the Spirit was saying to us.
Yeah. And
so I think it's really important to sort of understand that, that's brought us all the way here to doing this podcast, because it's through all of that journey and through meeting those people that we get this opportunity now to speak to people on a different medium from our hearts. And as we said, the app's there, it's, it promotes itself, but this is our chance to bring some other people to the table, some other experts, because the app's great. It helps with behavior and it helps with the family dynamics. But then there's the subjects, the things, the
Correct.
the things that are happening around that.
Yeah.
That's the reason for this.
Exactly. And so we got the emails, we're getting emails from the clinics.
Yeah.
And we were also getting emails from a lot of teachers who were kind of, I guess, hacking the family version of the app to use in their classrooms. And it was working for them, but, you know, families usually have, I don't know, a couple of kids up until, I mean, we've got some families on the app that had quite a few kids, 12, 15.
Depends where they're from and what.
Large families.
Yeah.
But, you know, certainly not a classroom cohort size. And so that's when we decided that we would not only build the clinic platform, but we're now also about to release a pilot program for education in schools for teachers if they want to use it on a classroom level, but also schools if they want to use it on a school-wide level or in their behavior classrooms.
Programs. Yeah.
So that's why we started looking into that. And through that and talking to teachers, principals, clinicians, behavior therapists, we started to really delve into the science, realized that we kind of got a lot of stuff right, tweaked what the recommendations were.
But you had been doing a lot of reading on that. Like, to be honest, this is the thing. It's like when we built Thumsters, you were like, this works, but why?
Yeah.
And you sort of started reading around it, and then you started looking into I guess, some of the actual real science behind it, because this was coming up at the same time that gentle parenting was coming up. And it's kind of like we were actually getting some pretty rude support requests as well. They're not always, then they weren't always like positive. Like, this is carrots and sticks and all sorts of things. But the reality is that you talk to anybody in that field, in that scientific field or medical scientific field around behavior and psychology, they say this is the gold standard in dealing with behavior.
Exactly. And I think you shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, is my current opinion on it. I think gentle parenting has its place and it can be beautiful. And I think it is so important to teach our kids about their emotions and their feelings. And the app has an emotions tracker in it. And we educate parents on how to talk about that with their kids and check in with their kids every day.
Yeah.
But also we talk to a lot of teachers who are telling us we're quitting or we don't want to do this anymore because we're dealing with a classroom full of kids who have never been taught no or have never had a positive reinforcement.
No
boundaries. And also, hey, that's not okay. And here's consequence seems like a harsh word, but it is what it is. You know, that's being taken off you now because you're whacking your friend with it. We need to take this away until you can learn to be safe with it. That's a negative consequence. So it's an outcome to the action. So the app sort of encourages both, which I really love. That's what I kind of love about it. But
yeah,
let's just talk for a second about the Netherlands program and then also the study that we randomly found when we Googled Thumsters one day. Tell me about that super quick, because that was both very cool in terms of validating what we were doing.
Yeah, sure. So as business owners, we basically track our sentiment online, and we're looking around, seeing what people are saying about our app, what users are saying, if there's any blog posts, etc. And in that process, we do like scans through search, looking for mentions. And one day we were hunting through, and I came across a link to the US. I think it was what's called I'm trying to remember what its actual name is, but it's basically like the National Health Service. And so it's a government department, and they had commissioned this study on apps that encourage, positive behavior. And there was two categories. There was one that had health outcomes and one that didn't have health outcomes. Now, Thumsters can be used in both, but it was included in the non-health outcomes category, in which we basically topped the class. And I showed this to you and I was like, hey, look at this. Look at this study. I mean, look, to be honest, when you build something like this, often you have to approach people to get these studies done and to get your idea validated and your app validated. This was done without us even asking, and at the national level in the US, and it was
at a government level.
Yeah, it was a government level.
It was the National Library of Medicine or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should really figure that one out.
Yeah.
But
and the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes. But yeah, it was really cool because it had, you know, it was heads of psychology from very big universities and all sorts of things were involved in this study. So that was cool. Major validation point for us, number one. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
The National Library of Medicine.
isn't that what I said?
Yep, that is exactly what you said. Okay. So Caleb's handing me the iPad because he's actually looked it up for us while we were trying to figure it out. So it was done, the actual study was done by the JMIR, Pediatrics and Parenting. It's an organization, but it was then put up on the National Institute of Health's National Library of Medicine, which is so many words. But essentially, it was a study that was authored by people from University of Kansas, from the Department of Biomedical and Informatics, the Department of Health and Clinical Sciences. So all of these different places, all these big names. And essentially this study was about commercially available mobile apps with family behavioral goal setting and tracking for parents, review, and quality evaluation.
Oh, so many words.
That was the title.
Okay.
But anyway, it was split into two categories.
Yes.
Apps with health outcomes and apps without health outcomes.
Yes.
We topped the apps without health health outcomes
Correct.
Category, which is really, really cool. And we didn't pay anything to be involved in this.
It was we were organically chosen. We didn't even realize we were included in the study until we Googled our name.
Yeah. So
that was cool. So that was validation number one.
Yeah. Okay. So that went out into circulation and it was really cool for us. Then we were approached. We got an email from the University of Utrecht. It's really hard to say.
In the Netherlands.
The city names there are pretty hard to pronounce, but essentially we were approached to use Thumsters for helping people with cerebral palsy improve their exercise routine. So basically tracking and motivating them to actually complete exercises.
Leading to greater health outcomes.
That's right.
Yeah. So they approached us to be part of their university study. He's been amazing to deal with. That's still ongoing. And he wanted to use us as their form of positive reinforcement.
Yeah, so they were using all the features in Thumsters to track the workouts and motivate the students. Mm-hmm. And so they had, one-on-one sort of PT trainers with them and they were doing those sort of things. And that data was then collected and that's been spoken about at some big symposiums and things throughout Europe.
Journals.
It's going to be in some medical journals and things. So again, it was just like, hey, well, look, Thumsters is being used in all these different places and we didn't even know that it was going to be this.
So I kind of turned from this little app that we built our family, put up on the App Store so our friends and family could download it, got all excited because we started making some dollars and seeing all the downloads, to getting excited about these studies that were being included in, the science being validated, and of course getting these amazing emails from the clinicians and the families. And that really kick-started in us and our team sort of this idea around empowering families, which is a large part of what we do in our other company, Coben Digital. Empowerment is a very important word to us, and not in a marketing spiel kind of way, and the way that we like the work that we do to really be serving others and or the communities that they serve.
Yeah. Coben is very much about, working with organizations that are doing things for good.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not, they're not all not-for-profits and they're not all in some sort of those sort of things. But, we work with a lot of NFPs and charities and worldwide now, which is really cool. And then also we do a lot of work with government and we do a lot of work with organizations that are doing good things. I mean, we work with all sorts of commercial organizations. So
we do, but we especially love those in the for good space.
Yeah.
And that serve others and serve communities. So those are kind of our two businesses. So when we figured out that Thumsters was really helping others, both commercially and B2B with schools and clinics, and then of course at a family level, which is where it started, we started to get super excited. And that is kind of what led us to the podcast idea.
Yeah, I know. And now, look, we've interviewed some pretty amazing people already.
We really have. We've been really blessed with the caliber of guests that we have interviewed so far.
Yeah.
We've got nearly 10 episodes with some amazing guests, both here in Australia and America. A lot of top experts in their fields. A lot of them are now really good friends of ours, and a lot of them are parents themselves with really unique views on parenting. We don't want to be interviewing, we don't want to be in an echo chamber where everyone's saying the same thing. The fact of parenting is that we do all parent differently and have different takes on things or different ways of doing things. And I kind of loved that.
Yeah.
My own parenting journey was learning from other people and tweaking here and tweaking there and figuring out what family and parenting look like with our kids.
Yeah. I think that's the key, is that there is no one right or wrong way, and not even one right or wrong way with each of your children, because each of them is so vastly different. And that was one of the things we learned with our own kids. It's like, yeah, we had our first kid and then we went to have our second kid and we're like, yeah, it's completely different. So, if you think about, the differences between Caleb, um, who happens to be over there right now. He's much, much bigger than he was when he was born, obviously. Um,
Wow.
wow, insight. But into Hannah,
Yeah.
she started talking instantly almost. And so for us, it was just two very, very different experiences, and two different parenting styles, two different everythings. Obviously they're a little bit of each of us, and they have a lot of our traits and a lot of our things, but it's like, yeah, you just, every single kid's different. And so I guess when we have these guests, it's getting those different insights and understanding how they sort of deal with these situations or deal with them.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, even as parents with our kids, we needed different parenting styles, and how much more is true, worldwide,
Yeah.
culturally, generationally. It's all different.
Yeah. Do you reckon that also goes to different parenting styles, each of us? Like, one of us had to be good cop and one of us needed to be bad cop?
Look, I think that's possibly a topic for a future podcast. There were times, I think we learned very quickly that we may not always agree in our parenting style
No.
or in our approach, but a unified front was important. There's
What were we always told, like, as parents? You should stand shoulder to shoulder, as in, beside each other, so that they knew that you were in alignment and you both had the same point of view.
I just like
There's so many different
our eldest son Caleb is behind the camps just
giggling.
giggling away, because he will honestly tell you that there were times where I'd be like, "What are you saying? What are you doing?" Like, no, look, this podcast is going to be nothing if not authentic and transparent.
A lot of that comes from the ways that we were parented to, and that, I think that's going to come through, is how much we emulated the way that we were parented.
Yeah.
And that's different.
And what we chose to do differently.
Yeah, 100%.
And I actually say that to my kids now, I know you didn't always agree with how I parented you, but even in my failures as a parent, and I'm sure there were quite a few, hopefully it teaches you how you don't want to parent and what you might approach differently. And that's okay. I'm not offended by that. I will cheer you on in your own parenting choices, within reason, as long as everyone's safe, happy, and healthy.
Hey, we're all works in progress.
Yes, we are, Peter. So I guess I just wanted this episode to be about the fact that the app is what kickstarted this. The app is on an amazing trajectory that we're super, super grateful for. But this podcast is not going to be about the app. We're not going to try and hard sell the app to you. If you want to go and try the app, please download it. It's amazing.
There's the hard sell.
What this podcast is going to be about, it's going to be about talking to experts.
Yeah.
More often than not, rather than just you and I here on the couch chatting away. It's going to be shot all around Australia, all around America, and hopefully eventually all around the world. Maybe we can go to the Netherlands and we can chat to them about the study that they did. That would be great.
Yeah. I think there's an opportunity to go different places, just because different places, different styles, different everything.
So that's our hope for this podcast, is that it will empower you and your family and the other parent, whether you're a co-parent or a grandparent or a foster parent, whether you are a professional in the family space, whether you're a teacher, whether you are a caregiver or a medical professional. We want this to be about empowering the family unit systemically and the whole ecosystem of childcare and family.
Yeah.
Childcare is in caring for the child, not childcare as in kindergarten, but that too. So I just got told by our amazing podcast producer / marketing manager, Kirsty, that today she started a Facebook community group. She did. A Facebook community group that is hosted by Thumsters.
What?
I know. And that is where people can go if they want to either be featured on the show, if you have a unique opinion or you want to chat to us or you are an expert in your field, jump on there. If you want to join the conversation in terms of all things family, parenting, behavior, or if people have like a subject or a topic that they think is relevant to families today. And look, we're looking for meaty topics. We don't just want how to get my kids to do more chores. We have an app for that, P.S. But I'm talking about some of the topics that we've got coming up that we've actually already filmed are things like, can I addiction-proof my kids? Childhood cancer journeys and how to support a friend or loved one.
And dealing with grief.
Grief. Raising resilient. You did a fantastic
Raising resilient girls with
Brett.
Yeah.
And that I loved that podcast, Raising Resilient Daughters, Dad to Dad. We also spoke to a very senior midwife on the topic of teen pregnancy. Now, she actually was a teen mum quite a number of years ago, and her own daughter is a teen mum, and how they navigated that as a family. So these are topics that they're not little things. These are, I feel like, really relevant big topics that we should be talking about.
I think they're things that we as parents sometimes think, okay, I'm not going to go through that. But until you do.
Not just hard topics like that.
No.
Things like raising great leaders and raising your kids to be great leaders.
That was a really cool conversation.
That was a cool conversation. So listen, this is the outworking, this is the village that we're trying to build. And we spoke about that in the last podcast, about wanting to build this village. And I know that there's a lot of parenting resources out there, but we're really hoping that this could be a place where people can come and request topics and be part of the conversation online and sort of grow this community in terms of the whole parent-child family ecosystem. We've got some really great things coming up.
So jump in there, sign up, join.
We'll put that in the show notes?
Yeah. Well, there'll be a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'd love to have that conversation or have the conversation with people and sort of get their input. And yeah. Thanks for joining us today on the Raising Humans Project. We'd love it if you'd leave a comment below. Tell us what you want to hear about and who you want to hear from. Yeah.
Who are the top parenting voices in the world today? Let us know.
Yeah, because we're running out of people to talk to.
We're not running out of people to talk to. Look, if you can please like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified of future episodes, and we will see you next week. Well, I'll see you at home because we parent together.
Please tell your mates because we want people to hear this.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.